Asterisk, the night it happened, I remember the rain. Not because it was loud or angry, but because it was soft until even as if the sky itself didn't want to disturb what was about to break inside me. Asterisk, I was 16, still a child in so many ways, and I believed that if there was one person in this world who'd never hurt me, never let me fall, it was my father. I was wrong. Asterisk, my name is Ava. I grew up in a small town, the kind where neighbors smile and wave, where everyone knows your name and your story, at least the version you allow them to see. My family wasn't perfect, but it felt strong. My mom was loving, always humming while she cooked, and my dad was my hero. The kind of man who picked me up when I scraped my knees and taught me to ride a bike by jogging beside me, down the gravel road. He called me his star, told me I'd light up the world one day, so I trusted him. With my heart, with my future. Asterisk, and then, slowly, almost like erosion wearing down stone, that trust started to fade. Not with a crash, but a whisper. It began with secrets. Asterisk, I started noticing how my dad would get tense when his phone buzzed. He'd step out of the room to take calls. At dinner, he stopped making jokes. His smile felt mechanical. And late at night, I'd hear the garage door open and close when he thought everyone was asleep. Asterisk, I tried to convince myself it was work stress. Or maybe he was planning something special. That's what I told my mom when I saw her staring at him from across the table. Her eyes filled with worry, she tried to hide. But the truth didn't stay buried for long. Asterisk, one afternoon, I came home early from school. I had forgotten my science project and needed to grab it before the bell rang. I opened the front door quietly, hoping to surprise my mom, maybe even convince her to drive me back, so I wouldn't have to face the judgmental school bus driver again. But it wasn't my mom, I heard, it was my dad. On the phone, in the kitchen, asterisk, I can't keep this up much longer. Sarah, she's starting to ask questions. Sarah, not mom, and the way he said it, gentle, affectionate, guilty. I didn't move. I stood there, hidden in the hallway, hands clenched so tightly I left crescent marks on my palms. My stomach twisted. I don't even remember leaving the house. I just remember the numbness. That night, I told my mom what I heard. Asterisk, she didn't cry. That's what surprised me most. She just closed her eyes and nodded, as if she'd been waiting for someone else to see the truth she already knew. Asterisk, the following weeks were a blur of arguments. Late-night phone calls, slammed doors, and tension so thick you could feel it pressing against your chest. Asterisk, I avoided. My dad, when he tried to talk to me, I turned away. When he reached out, I recoiled. Asterisk, and yet, a part of me wanted him to explain, to fix it, to be my dad again. Asterisk, but some betrayals carve holes so deep, words can't fill them. One evening, about a month later, he asked me to meet him at the park, the one where he taught me how to fly a kite when I was 7. Asterisk, I almost didn't go. But curiosity or maybe a dying ember of hope dragged me there. Asterisk, he was sitting on the bench, the same bench where we used to eat ice cream. His face looked older. Sadder. Asterisk, Ava, he said softly, I know you hate me. I probably deserve it, but I need you to know something. I never stopped loving you. What I did, it wasn't about you or your mom. It was a mistake, a selfish, stupid mistake. But you are the best thing in my life. Asterisk, I wanted to believe him, but I didn't know how. Asterisk, you broke us. I whispered. You broke me. Asterisk, he nodded. Tears ran down his cheeks. It was the first time I'd ever seen him cry. Asterisk, I'll spend the rest of my life trying to earn back your trust. He said. We didn't fix everything that night, or the next week, or even the next year. Asterisk, my parents separated. My mom started going back to school to become a nurse. I watched her rebuild her life with quiet strength, and I grew up. I started writing journals, poems, letters I never sent. Asterisk, and my dad, he didn't disappear. Asterisk, he called. He showed up to my school events, even if I didn't talk to him afterward. He sent letters. On my 17th birthday, he gave me an old photo album full of pictures of youth bike rides, kites, birthdays, bedtime stories. On the inside cover, he wrote, asterisk, no matter what happens, you will always be the best chapter of my life. Dad, it took time. Years. Asterisk, but one day, during my college graduation, I saw him standing in the back of the crowd, clapping with quiet pride. And I smiled, just a little. It wasn't forgiveness, not yet, but it was the beginning. Now at 28, I understand something I didn't back then. Asterisk, people you love can hurt you. Sometimes deeply. And sometimes the pain doesn't heal the way you want it to, but that doesn't erase every good moment they gave you. Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild, but it's not always impossible. Asterisk, my dad and I were still learning how to talk. There are still moments of silence between us. Still shadows, but there's also effort, growth, honesty, and maybe that's enough, because life isn't always about clean endings or perfect relationships. It's about learning to stand back up when the people you trusted the most let you fall. Asterisk, it's about remembering who you are, even when the ones who raised you forget who they're supposed to be. Asterisk and it's about finding strength not in the perfection of others, but in the resilience of your own heart. Asterisk.